What's going on, everyone? Back here with the Market Watch, of course, while we still have 10% credit for everyone on TCG Player. If you're not already honed into that, definitely check it out. It's a huge value. But yeah, today, I just wanted to break down, talk about some cards. We're going to break into like 3 segments. We're going to, one, talk about cards I would not buy, talk about cards that you should be looking at, and cards that have like increased, and then also talk briefly about the sealed product. So the first card, of course, they are the sealed events going on now. They just started yesterday. Of course, these leaders, you get these rainbow leaders, and they are very cool. They're only available for this event. However, of course, people are commanding $30. Someone paid $75. Get an F in the comments for them. But of course, yeah, I would not pick this up right now. There's going to be a decent amount. I can't say a ton, but there will be a decent amount as all these stores start to host their events throughout the 17th, I believe is when they end, just into OP05. But yeah, I just lost mine in the final round. We had to play 4 rounds because they had 12 people. I lost the final round, felt bad. Sabo was right there, so I might not... I'll just have to try again. But of course, number one, first card I would not buy is this structure deck Luffy. Why would I not buy this Luffy? I would not buy this Luffy because this Luffy is about to get reprinted in the next set of tournament packs. Unless you're playing a deck immediately that needs this. Because again, this is just a temporary format. The format changes come December 8th. So by the time you get this in the mail, it'll probably be at least December 3rd. And if you're not playing it next set, you definitely don't need it. But yeah, these cards, they'll probably be like $2-3, probably like $4 or $5 when they first come out. But of course, as we know with all of these entry pack cards, they pretty much are like $1. So definitely I would not pick this up. I also would not pick up Lead Performer Disasters. Of course, this card is cracked right now. Shout out Johnny playing Red Purple Luffy, teching this. For the ramp and the draw. It actually turns out to be very strong. But yeah, I would not buy this because you get better ramp in OP05 and there's just not enough room for it. And this, of course, being that purple structure deck, it is $3. I wouldn't touch this card unless you plan on playing it for like 1 week. Again, like if you order these online, you're just not going to get them in time. Also, another card I would not buy, this Trafalgar Law. I don't think he's good going into next set. I could be wrong, but there's so many better cards purple wise that come into the game that I just don't think you need this card. And it's kind of expensive still. I moved a number of mine. I still have 4. I would probably move these right away. And then, of course, this Monkey D. Luffy, $90 wanted poster. We'll talk about the other wanted cards, but this one specifically I just would not pick up. Why? Because this Luffy right here is coming out, and as you can see, it's already available for pre-order for $95, versus this card's $92. In Japan, this card is like $12. It was guaranteed everyone per case, which isn't saying much, but if it has a similar pull rate, then this card could be relatively affordable speaking, and it's an Oda art. And I think just long term, I would much rather own this than own this. And if this becomes cheaper, a lot of people could sell theirs here. I think this is fine at like $60, but at what it's at right now, again, just because this Luffy is also expensive, this Luffy, of course, has to be equally more expensive. But I think with the release of this, and also the release of the one, which should also have a winter variant, which again will be sought after, and just creating a decent amount of like high rarity options should bring this down. So at almost $100, definitely $100 after tax, I would not touch that card. And then of course here we have this Monkey D. Luffy. Of course, when attacking, you may add 1 card from the top or bottom of your life card to your hand. So this card, $7, and it's been selling at $7 a lot. We got two sellers listed. This card, I feel like, was fairly available. I don't think it's worth picking up just because, one, it doesn't have trigger, but people are probably picking it up, and I'll talk more about this in my video. So subscribe if you're interested in me talking about the 3 Brothers One Piece deck coming out. I think it's going to be for us in like April. It's going to be pretty late. But I believe that those leaders all having yellow as their common thing. And then, of course, this leader being able to add cards to your hand with Luffy doing things where they don't go to your hand. So you can't use that there. However, you can use it with like Ace or Sabo. So something interesting to think about. But I think that's why this has been hyped up. And then, of course, I think this is a stronger buy just because it is a winner card. And these cards have been holding their value relatively strong. If I could get one at 50, I probably would pick one up at 50. Not a ton listed again. Just be careful on these. But this, of course, being a winner card, being a prize card-ish, does help it a bit more. If you're going to pick up one, I would pick up this. But, of course, I don't recommend it at this price tag. And then, of course, Rebecca. Rebecca just falls off. And then, as we know, like all the leaders that fall off, like Lucci is like $30. I think this leader is like $40. Vivi is $40. So I think this card is like $40 once nobody plays Rebecca at all. Still a decent amount of sales, but I just would not pick this leader up just because Rebecca is completely irrelevant next set. Then, of course, just kind of wanted to talk about this Ace. This set just it was available for pre-order on Premium Bandai back in March. It comes with this, a playmat, and a box. And this leader is sitting comfortably at 56. A fair amount of sales. I've seen people in the groups looking for them. Just something to keep your eye on. It is a nice version of Ace, and I just wanted to mention it. And then, of course, we'll talk about the wanted cards. So I think this card is a easy pickup right now. If I did not have one of these, I think I would rush to this. Why? Because it is now the cheapest wanted card. This, of course, also being able to be played in UTA once February comes around and the UTA deck releases. And it's $33, $35-ish. You can pick up a couple of those. A decent amount of sales. But, yeah, because if we look, Doflamingo, $60. Now, you can technically tech this into into SakaLucci. You can play this in SakaLucci. So there's that. But yeah, it is $50-$60. There's been some sales around there. It was recently bought out, as you can see. But again, making use of this the cheapest. I think that targets all of them. And you see the wanted Luffy is $90. All these cards are on the rise. Of course, Kaido, it's in about $85. And still a decent amount of sales, being relevant in purple Luffy. I think that this Doflamingo is overvalued, but when we talk about sealed product, their price might make a little bit more sense. Again, like all of these cards are potential collector cards, so a decent amount of hype around each one. But this, of course, being a card that will for sure be played in UTA, and being $30, and the wanted card feels like a great pickup to me. And then we've got this Luffy. This Luffy went and got pretty cheap. It was about $4. It got a reprint with Barnes & Noble, but it's slowly on his way back up. Not an insane amount of sales, but you can see here just a few days ago he was $4.50. Now he's selling at $7. If you don't have these, it's a 2K and its effect isn't the worst. So it like does stuff. It might be worth having in your toolbox. I picked these up once he went down the first time right around here and was about $4. Then, of course, they went up with the rise of Strawbeard, and with Strawbeard potentially coming back, depending on what they do with the ban list, this card could see another jump again, especially with how the market is shaped out over the past couple of months. Then, of course, a card, I tweeted about this once already. This is kind of gross and expensive. But if you have new gates, I would 1000% take them out my binder. Complete speculation call. If this card does not come unbanned, this card should be $3-4. Maybe $5 given current conditions, maybe $5, but this card should be very cheap. But if this card becomes unbanned at peak, this card was around $20 post pre-release, right? It was kind of expensive pre-release. Post pre-release, it was $20. So the market's completely changed. This card could be a $30 card easy. I mean, Borsalino's $30, Kuzan's $25. This card could be $35 just because the popularity of Red and how much America loves Newgate. This card could be $35, $40 if it was unbanned. There is no guarantee. There's no place where it suggests he will be unrestricted. But if he is unrestricted, this card will be expensive. Same here with this Marco, $22. You can buy this for $10. And then almost $15. We can buy this for $22. This card's still good. Of course, like it's not strong at all in any deck next set if they're not both unlimited. But if he is, this card at peak was around $60. So this card could be potentially like a $70, $80 card, $50 maybe. Complete speculation. None of this is financial advice. Please do not spend any money you do not have on cards. But I think he's the hottest buy. And then this I don't fully understand. If you know why Guild Tesoro is expensive again, let me know in the comments below. I traded in a couple of these to my locals the other day because I do have a bunch of these. But he's back at around $5 and he was like $2. So he's back. He's so back. If you have these, I'd look to move them, or if you know why, maybe it's worth holding on to. I still, of course, have a playset and a couple extra, but I might be looking to move the rest of mine while he's still valuable. Then, of course, so Purple Luffy should be relatively popular. And as I just showed you earlier in the video, one of those cards from the purple structure deck is expensive. A lot of these cards from these decks have become expensive. And Ulti is a 4 of in Purple Luffy and is still relatively affordable. Same with Page 1. They go together. I think that these are a pickup because there's no other printings. I would pick these up. Especially if you're planning on playing Luffy or might play Purple Luffy. Because these could be the next one. Because again, like cards like Queen. From this same deck, this deck sells sealed for like $100 now. Because of just the value in all of the cards. Queen sitting at about $40. Seeing some sales near that level. This card is just not stopping. I tweeted this card back in August. Right at the end of August, I believe. When it was $10. Like, hey, you should buy these. If you're planning on playing Purple Luffy. This card is just taken off. Becomes super expensive. Hopefully we see a reprint soon. But just wanted to highlight the value on that. And then, of course, going back to Uda, something to keep your eyes on. These cards, again, if you have one of these in your binders, might be worth pulling out. Might be worth getting rid of. There's $45. Decent number of sales at the 40-ish level. This card being playable in Uda can be a 3-4 of. Same with the finalist version. Couple of sales around 60 to like 70-ish. But yeah, this is also a fairly cheap card, now turned expensive. You have these laying around, might be worth moving them, might be worth holding on to them. Up to you. I think $45 for a promo is very strong. Of course, you think about like Jinbei holding strong, so these February will tell. They could go up. The market's been crazy. But just something to keep your eyes on. Of course, there are the cheap common versions. But if you're one of those max rarity, high rarity individuals, something to keep your eyes on if you want to play Uda. And then, of course, let's just talk about like Nami. I think this is one of the nicer Namis out there. And Nami's going to come back to 4. This card was about $25 before the list and slowly made their way back down. These gift sets will soon be done. They were just like introduced for the holidays. So I'm not sure how much they're going to restock, if at all, anymore. But just something to keep your eyes on. I think that this could very well go back up by time we get Nami back. And especially if we get Newgate and people are playing Red Purple Luffy. And then Portgas D Ace. This card always finds his way here. He finds his way down to become more affordable. Then he slowly works his way back up. This card being playable in Red Purple Law. And then also, again, like Whitebeard and Newgate kind of just showed up. In Japan, again, somebody went 8-1 at one of their events with Newgate. And so if people do flock to Newgate once more, this card is a main Newgate card. And then Red Purple Luffy, of course, or Red Purple Law can play this as well. So something to keep your eye on if you don't have a playset. Paramount War, rising in price. All of these will slowly rise with it until we get like a reasonable reprint. So again, just keep your eyes on it. And then, of course, I'm going to mention this kid, Romance Dawn, super expensive. This is the same price as the Wanted. And if, again, Wanted cards get bought out, then this will go up. So if you don't have one of these in your collection, worth picking up. Or if you might play Uda and you think that this is high rarity, consider picking it up. It's sitting 33s all day. Okay, not a ton of sales, but I think that this is possibly super underrated. Not super played now, but come February it'll be super played, and who knows if we'll have an OP01 reprint. Might be worth looking into. Again, there is a more affordable version if you're not the max rarity type, but if you are, just to keep your eyes on. But then let's just talk about that sealed product, right? We've got this Romance Dawn booster box, $560. There are daily sales pretty much at these levels, and then of course as the items inside of it go up, these will go up. But one thing I really want to talk about was the blue bottoms. So sure, any one of these could possibly be a blue bottom, you never really know, but these have gone up drastically. So around here people were paying 800 on blue bottoms, and here they're almost 560, and blue bottoms are still about the same. It really begs the question, are blue bottoms undervalued, or is pre-errata just really not worth that much more to individuals? So just something to think about. I've never opened one of these booster boxes, and I thought I would, but now I probably might never, so that's cool. But of course, Paramount War, almost $300. Again, almost daily sales at this level. Again, you've got the Newgate in here. You've got Marco in here. And all of these. And of course, as the sealed product goes up, those will go up. But as those go up, these will go up. So if Newgate's like a $40 card and you can pull Newgate Borsalino, like these would just go up. I personally, I'm not a fan of buying sealed product. I mean, I buy it to keep it sealed. For like every pre-order, I buy at least 2, or at least try to keep sealed. But yeah, just something to keep your eyes on, because these values should move almost like in tangent with each other. And then this as well. So, you know, those wanted cards are going up. The wanted cards are an OP03. These booster boxes are also slowly making their way up there at like about $150 a box. But yeah, as always, if you found this content of value, if you could do me a favor, check to see if you're subscribed. If you're not, if you could hit that subscribe button, it helps me a ton to work with larger content creators, and also just continue to grow here with the channel. But thank you all so much for watching, and have a great day.